I am planning our next week of travel. I wanted to go over how I actually do that with you guys because some of you have been asking, so this is how the magic happens on our trip. It's not very pretty. So first thing I do is I type in the area where we're going to for the next day or from the point of where I want to plan. So right now we're in Greensboro, and then we are going to stay in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which actually wasn't planned. I was just playing around on here on Google Maps and saw that that national park was right there. So I was like, hey, why not? We're going to Asheville. Let's go to the national park that I've always wanted to go to. I had no idea where it was at. Some of this stuff is on the fly, and sometimes I'm like, hey, Kels, this place sounds really cool. We should go here. And then sometimes she's like, yeah, okay. Or sometimes she's like, no, that sounds lame. Let's go somewhere else. And so then we just like reroute the route on Google Maps. And the great thing about Google Maps is you can actually add destinations. So we are going to Asheville. So you just add it right there, and then you can drag it so that it's not the final destination. So it gives you a more accurate view of how long it's going to take and the miles it's going to take. And we try to stay under 7 hours of driving each day because Kelsey with her pregnancy nausea just really can't do too much more than that. So for this leg of the trip for tomorrow, we are leaving Greensboro early in the morning, and we are going to drive to Asheville to visit some of Kelsey's cousins, and then we're going to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So I have to find somewhere for us to stay, and for that I use this site called freecampsites.net. And freecampsites.net, it's not a secret to a lot of people, but I feel like everyone I've talked to doesn't really know about it. So if you don't know about it, it's a site that has free campsites all across US and Canada. I don't know, I think that's the only countries, but we've been using it on our entire trip, and it's actually where we found probably 80% of the free camping that we've stayed at. So I've just typed in the Asheville area, and it shows you all these little green tents are the free areas to stay at, and then these are the dump stations. The red ones you have to pay. They're usually pretty cheap, so it's really cheap campgrounds or free. So it doesn't look like there's any really nearby Asheville, so I started looking at Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and since it is a national park, there obviously is not any because national parks generally don't ever have free camping. So the next step that I go to, if it is a national park, then I will generally just Google search the national park and look for campground in the actual park. Some of them are really cheap. So the one we're staying at is in the park. It's $20 a night, so that's not too bad. We're just staying one night. But if there isn't a national park with camping nearby, then we are Good Sam Club members, and we use the Good Sam website to find really cheap RV parks. Again, they're like 20 to 30 bucks a night. And they're rated, they have Wi-Fi, sometimes we'll stay here and do laundry like we did in Maine, and they're generally all pet friendly, so Paris is welcome, he really likes that. We already have our campground for this leg, and we do generally try to stick to the freecampsites.net to cut down on cost. Other things that I have to plan is for dump stations, and this website actually has dump stations right here. You can turn them on, and all of the black little locators are free dump stations along the way. Again, we try to do as much as possible for free to cut down on costs, and it doesn't look like there's too many along the way to Asheville, and we dump every 3 to 4 days. So we'll probably dump at the campground that we're staying at because that campground does have a dump station. And again, that is a great benefit of staying at a campground because you get to use the dump station and the water and all that for free. Whereas if we're on the road and we couldn't find a free one, then we would have to pay anywhere from $5 to, someone has said it's $25 just to dump and use the water. How ridiculous is that? So, and that's basically like a night of camping. So if it's gonna be that expensive, then we're just gonna stay at the campground. That's basically all we do to plan. And then as far as like organization, I will put everything, I just use Notes app on the Mac, and it syncs automatically to my iPhone. So that's really great. And then this has our entire schedule here. So I've already planned out, I'll put all the information that we need to stay right here, and it has basically, this is what we use to stay on track, and this is what I use to update the video description as well. So if something isn't adding up, like the miles, then I'll constantly update it as we get further behind or farther ahead of schedule. And then this automatically syncs to my phone, so that way I don't have to worry about like emailing it back and forth and whatnot. So it's actually really quite handy. Then other than that, that's basically what we use to plan the trip. And then when we're in a destination, we just go to TripAdvisor is really our main site that we use to see what sites we should see. And then also I do check our YouTube channel and I go through our comments just to see if there's any of you guys have given us suggestions on our previous videos, or if there's any tweets that we have. I'll check my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you haven't already, go follow those right now. They're all on our page down in the description below. Just click show more and then they'll all pop up for you. So yeah, that's basically how we planned the trip, and I just planned our entire week for the next week. We have a pretty intense week coming up. We are going from Greensboro all the way to Flagstaff, Arizona in like a week. So stick around for that, and that's how we planned the trip.